I quit sugar for 30 days. My body's reaction sugar is everywhere, hidden in bread, sauces, drinks, and even foods we think are healthy. It gives a quick rush of pleasure, but it also quietly wears down the body, especially after 50. What happens when it's removed completely? For 30 days, no sweets, no soft drinks, no added sugars. At first, the body resists, craving what it's used to. But as the days pass, surprising changes begin to unfold, energy shifts, mood steadies, and health markers start to improve. Quitting sugar is not just about willpower, it's about discovering how the body truly feels without constant overload. If you're over 50 and want to feel stronger, live longer, and reduce hidden health risks, you're in the right place. Subscribe, like, and share your own experiences in the comments. Together, we'll uncover the everyday habits that make aging not something to fear, but something to embrace. In the first few days without sugar, the body often reacts strongly, as if it is missing something essential. Doctors describe this as withdrawal, similar in nature, though milder, to what happens when people reduce caffeine or nicotine. For seniors who have consumed sugar regularly for decades, the sudden absence can feel uncomfortable. Common reactions include headaches, irritability, and a persistent urge to snack on something sweet. These cravings occur because sugar triggers the release of dopamine, a brain chemical associated with pleasure and reward. When that stimulation is removed, the brain signals that it wants it back, creating restlessness and fatigue. Energy levels also shift noticeably in the first week. Sugar provides quick bursts of glucose that spike blood sugar levels, followed by crashes that leave people drained. When those spikes are taken away, the body must adjust to relying on more stable sources of energy, like whole grains, protein, and healthy fats. During the transition, it is common to feel more tired than usual, especially in the afternoon. Doctors often reassure patients that this fatigue is temporary, lasting about a week, as the body learns to regulate energy more efficiently without constant highs and lows. Mood changes are another reaction. Research in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition shows that high sugar intake is linked to anxiety and depression, yet paradoxically, removing sugar can initially make mood swings more noticeable. This is because the brain is accustomed to the quick comfort sugar provides. Seniors may feel more irritable, restless, or emotionally low during the first several days. Sleep patterns can also be disturbed, with some people reporting restlessness at night. Physicians recommend increasing hydration, eating balanced meals, and focusing on fiber-rich foods to ease this transition. By stabilizing blood sugar with complex carbohydrates and protein, the cravings begin to diminish. Many patients find that after the first week, the intensity of the desire for sweets weakens significantly. These early reactions are not signs of harm but rather of adjustment. The body is shifting from dependence on quick sugars to a steadier, more sustainable fuel system. For seniors, understanding this process is essential. The discomfort of the first few days is temporary, but the long-term benefits are substantial. The first week of quitting sugar is often the hardest, but it is also the turning point where the body begins to reset and prepare for healthier function. When sugar is removed from the daily diet, one of the clearest changes after the first adjustment period is the way energy levels stabilize. Instead of quick bursts followed by sharp crashes, the body begins to rely on more consistent fuel sources. Doctors often explain that sugar creates a roller coaster effect. Blood glucose rises rapidly, then falls just as quickly, leaving behind fatigue and hunger. Without these constant spikes and drops, energy feels more even throughout the day. For seniors, this steadiness is especially important. Afternoon drowsiness, a common complaint after 50, often comes from fluctuations in blood sugar. When added sugars are eliminated, the likelihood of sudden energy slumps decreases. Research in diabetes care shows that maintaining stable glucose improves stamina and reduces feelings of exhaustion, even in individuals without diabetes. Instead of needing a sugary snack or caffeinated drink to pick up energy, the body learns to draw from meals rich in protein, fiber, and healthy fats, which release energy slowly and evenly. Another benefit is improved sleep quality, which in turn enhances energy during the day. High sugar intake has been linked to restless sleep and increased chances of waking during the night. Removing sugar helps regulate hormones like melatonin and cortisol, leading to deeper rest. Seniors who sleep better naturally experience stronger energy reserves the following day, further reinforcing the cycle of stability. Mental energy also improves when sugar is reduced. Neuropsychologists note that sharp blood sugar swings can impair concentration and memory. By cutting sugar, the brain receives a steadier flow of glucose, its primary fuel, which supports clearer thinking and better focus. This is particularly significant for older adults, as cognitive sharpness is closely tied to quality of life and independence. After about 2 weeks without sugar, many people describe a noticeable difference in endurance. Tasks that once felt draining, such as household chores, walks, or exercise, become easier to sustain without sudden drops in strength. Doctors highlight that this change is not from added stimulation, as sugar provides, but from a healthier regulation of energy metabolism. For seniors, the shift from sugar highs and lows to steady energy is one of the most meaningful outcomes of 30 days without sugar. It allows the body to move through the day with less fatigue, clearer focus, and a stronger sense of control, replacing the rollercoaster ride of sugar with calm, reliable strength. Quitting sugar for 30 days has a direct effect on weight and appetite regulation. Sugar contributes empty calories with little nutritional value, and over time, even small amounts can add up to gradual weight gain. By removing sweetened snacks, desserts, and sugary drinks, the daily calorie load decreases without requiring drastic dieting. For seniors, who often face slower metabolism, this reduction can be especially meaningful. Doctors frequently emphasize that even modest weight loss improves heart health, mobility, and blood sugar control. Appetite regulation is another key benefit. Sugar influences hormones like ghrelin and leptin, which control hunger and fullness. High sugar intake can disrupt these signals, leading to overeating or cravings shortly after a meal. When sugar is cut out, these hormones begin to reset, allowing the body to recognize true hunger and fullness cues again. Research in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology Metabolism shows that reducing added sugar helps stabilize leptin sensitivity, which is crucial for weight management. Seniors often find that they feel satisfied with smaller portions when meals are built on whole foods rather than sugar-heavy options. Another change comes in the reduction of late-night snacking. Sugar stimulates dopamine release in the brain, creating cycles of reward that encourage reaching for more. Without it, the urge for unnecessary snacks weakens over time. For older adults, avoiding late-night eating also improves digestion and supports better sleep, both of which contribute indirectly to healthier weight. Water retention can also decrease when sugar is removed. Diets high in sugar are often linked with bloating and fluid buildup, partly due to the effect of insulin on kidney function. By lowering sugar intake, the body may shed some of this excess fluid, leading to a lighter feeling and reduced swelling in the hands or feet. While this is not fat loss, it improves comfort and can motivate continued healthy choices. After 30 days, many people notice modest but steady changes on the scale, but more importantly, they experience greater control over appetite. For seniors, this shift is valuable not only for weight management but also for reducing the risks tied to obesity, such as arthritis, heart disease, and diabetes. The body becomes more in tune with natural hunger rhythms, making healthier eating easier and more sustainable. Removing sugar from the diet for 30 days has a powerful impact on blood sugar control and long-term diabetes risk. Added sugars are rapidly absorbed by the body, causing sharp spikes in blood glucose followed by sudden crashes. Over time, these fluctuations place stress on the pancreas, which produces insulin to manage glucose levels. Doctors often explain that repeated sugar spikes reduce the body's sensitivity to insulin, increasing the likelihood of prediabetes or type 2 diabetes. By cutting sugar, these rapid surges are avoided, giving the pancreas and the entire system a chance to stabilize. For seniors, this change is especially critical. Aging naturally reduces insulin efficiency, making it more difficult for the body to process sugar. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention report that adults over 65 represent the highest group affected by type 2 diabetes. Even those without diabetes benefit from stable blood sugar because it reduces fatigue, prevents brain fog, and protects blood vessels from long-term damage. 30 days without added sugar can begin to reverse insulin resistance, allowing the body to respond more effectively to natural glucose from whole foods such as fruits, vegetables, and grains. Clinical studies support these observations. Research in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition shows that reducing added sugars improves fasting blood glucose levels and lowers hemoglobin A1C, a marker of long-term glucose control. This is not just theory, it reflects measurable changes in how the body processes energy. Doctors often recommend sugar reduction as a first step in managing prediabetes because the benefits can be seen in as little as a few weeks. Another important effect is reduced strain on the cardiovascular system. Elevated blood sugar damages blood vessel walls and increases inflammation, both of which raise the risk of heart attack and stroke. By stabilizing glucose, the arteries remain healthier, circulation improves, and overall cardiovascular risk declines. For seniors, 30 days without sugar is not a cure for diabetes, but it is a meaningful protective measure. Improved insulin sensitivity, steadier energy, and reduced risk of dangerous spikes or crashes all contribute to better daily health and long-term outcomes. Quitting sugar acts as both prevention and support, reducing one of the most significant risk factors for chronic illness in later life. Cutting sugar for 30 days brings measurable benefits to heart health. High sugar intake is strongly associated with elevated triglycerides, increased blood pressure, and greater risk of heart disease. Cardiologists often explain that when sugar is consumed in excess, the liver converts the extra into triglycerides, a type of fat found in the blood. Elevated triglycerides contribute to hardening of the arteries, which raises the risk of stroke and heart attack. By removing added sugar, triglyceride levels begin to decline, easing the strain on blood vessels and circulation. Blood pressure is also influenced by sugar intake. A study published in Open Heart noted that diets high in sugar can raise blood pressure as much as diets high in salt. This happens because sugar triggers insulin spikes, which cause the kidneys to retain sodium and water, leading to increased fluid volume and pressure within the arteries. For seniors, where high blood pressure is already a common concern, even a small reduction in sugar can translate into better readings and reduced risk of complications. Another benefit comes from reducing inflammation. Excess sugar promotes low-grade inflammation throughout the body, which contributes to damage in the cardiovascular system. Doctors frequently remind patients that inflammation is not just discomfort, it is a driver of heart disease. 30 days without sugar allows inflammation markers to decrease, supporting healthier blood vessel function. For older adults, protecting the heart is a top priority, since heart disease remains the leading cause of death worldwide. Removing sugar does not replace medication or other treatments, but it strengthens the foundation of cardiovascular health. Within a month, blood pressure may stabilize, triglyceride levels can drop, and circulation often improves. Together, these changes reduce the hidden strain on the heart and support long-term resilience. Excess sugar in the diet accelerates visible aging of the skin through a process called glycation. In this process, sugar molecules bind to proteins like collagen and elastin, which are responsible for keeping skin firm, smooth, and resilient. When these proteins become damaged, skin loses elasticity, leading to sagging, fine lines, and a dull appearance. Dermatologists often warn that diets high in sugar speed up this breakdown, making skin look older than it truly is. By quitting sugar for 30 days, the body experiences less glycation, allowing collagen and elastin to remain stronger and more effective at maintaining skin health. Another change that occurs is a reduction in inflammation. High sugar intake is linked to flare-ups of acne, rosacea, and other inflammatory skin conditions. Without the constant burden of excess glucose, the skin is less prone to irritation and redness. Some dermatology studies report that cutting back on sugar can lead to clearer, brighter skin within weeks, particularly in adults who have struggled with breakouts or chronic inflammation. Hydration also improves when sugar is removed. Sugary foods and drinks can dehydrate the skin by drawing water out of cells. Over time, this contributes to dryness and makes wrinkles more visible. Replacing these choices with water or unsweetened alternatives helps the skin retain more moisture, giving it a healthier texture and glow. For seniors, who naturally experience drier skin as part of aging, this improvement in hydration is especially noticeable. The benefits extend beyond appearance. Skin is the body's largest organ, serving as a protective barrier against infection. When sugar is reduced, not only does the skin look healthier, but its function as a barrier also improves. Doctors emphasize that resilient skin is less likely to tear, bruise, or heal slowly, all of which become more concerning with age. 30 days without sugar will not erase wrinkles, but it does create a healthier environment for skin maintenance. Collagen is preserved, inflammation decreases, and hydration improves. For seniors, these changes bring both cosmetic and practical benefits, making skin stronger, more comfortable, and better able to reflect the vitality of a healthier lifestyle. Quitting sugar for 30 days brings significant relief to both the digestive system and the liver. Excess sugar feeds harmful bacteria in the gut, leading to an imbalance in the microbiome. Gastroenterologists explain that when this balance is disrupted, symptoms such as bloating, gas, and irregular bowel movements become more common. By removing added sugars, beneficial bacteria have a chance to thrive, restoring healthier digestion and reducing uncomfortable symptoms. Seniors often notice less bloating and smoother digestion within weeks of lowering sugar intake. The liver also benefits greatly from reduced sugar consumption. Fructose, the type of sugar commonly found in sweetened drinks and processed foods, is metabolized primarily in the liver. When consumed in excess, it overwhelms the organ, leading to fat accumulation and a condition known as non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Doctors frequently note that this condition has become increasingly common among older adults and is directly tied to diets high in added sugar. By quitting sugar, the liver has less burden, fat buildup decreases, and overall liver function improves. Clinical studies confirm these changes. Research in hepatology demonstrated that reducing added sugar intake can lower liver fat in just a few weeks, even without significant weight loss. This means the benefits of cutting sugar are not limited to appearance or weight management, they directly protect the health of vital organs. For seniors, this protection is crucial, as liver function naturally declines with age. Digestive comfort also improves through better regulation of insulin and glucose. High sugar intake can slow down digestion and create fluctuations that disrupt bowel regularity. By stabilizing blood sugar, the digestive tract functions more smoothly. Seniors who have struggled with irregularity often find that removing sugar helps restore consistency and reduces discomfort. Another overlooked benefit is reduced acid reflux. Sugary foods and drinks, especially carbonated sodas, can weaken the valve between the stomach and esophagus, leading to heartburn. Without them, reflux episodes often become less frequent and less severe, improving overall digestive comfort. In just 30 days without sugar, the digestive system becomes calmer and the liver more efficient. For older adults, these changes are more than conveniences, they are protective factors that reduce long-term risk of liver disease, promote healthier digestion, and improve quality of life on a daily basis. Lowering sugar intake for 30 days strengthens the immune system in noticeable ways. Doctors often point out that high sugar consumption temporarily weakens white blood cells, the body's main defenders against infection. Research published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition showed that after consuming a large dose of sugar, immune cells became less effective at fighting bacteria for several hours. For seniors, whose immune defenses are already naturally reduced with age, this temporary weakness can leave the body more vulnerable to colds, flu, and other illnesses. Removing sugar helps restore white blood cell function, improving resistance to infections. Another benefit comes from reduced inflammation. Excess sugar contributes to chronic low-grade inflammation, which not only weakens immunity but also worsens conditions such as arthritis, heart disease, and even certain cancers. By eliminating sugar, inflammatory markers in the body begin to decline, creating an environment where the immune system can function more effectively. Doctors explain that with less background inflammation, the body is better able to focus on genuine threats rather than being constantly distracted by internal irritation. Stabilized blood sugar also supports immune health. Frequent spikes and crashes can stress the adrenal glands and increase cortisol levels, which suppress immune function over time. By maintaining steadier glucose levels through a sugar-free diet, cortisol remains more balanced, and immunity stays stronger. Seniors benefit from this steady state because their bodies are less able to recover quickly from immune suppression compared to younger adults. Finally, a sugar-free diet encourages healthier gut bacteria, which play a major role in immunity. Nearly 70% of the immune system is located in the gut, and harmful bacteria fed by sugar can disrupt its balance. Reducing sugar allows beneficial bacteria to flourish, directly supporting immune defenses. In 30 days without sugar, many seniors notice fewer digestive issues, reduced inflammation, and an overall improvement in resilience against infections. While quitting sugar is not a cure-all, it provides the immune system with the strength it needs to defend the body more effectively. For older adults, this added protection is a vital step toward maintaining long-term health and independence. Cutting sugar for 30 days has a strong effect on mental and emotional health. High sugar intake is closely linked to mood swings, anxiety, and depression. Psychologists explain that sugar rapidly increases blood glucose, which can trigger a temporary boost in mood, followed by a sharp crash. These constant rises and falls place stress on the brain's chemistry, leaving people more irritable, restless, or fatigued. By eliminating sugar, mood becomes steadier because the brain is no longer riding this rollercoaster of highs and lows. Research in scientific reports found that individuals with high sugar consumption were more likely to report symptoms of depression. The study emphasized that reducing added sugar improved emotional stability within weeks. For seniors, who may already be vulnerable to mood changes due to hormonal shifts or medical conditions, stabilizing these swings can make a meaningful difference in daily life. With sugar out of the system, the brain receives a more consistent supply of glucose, its primary fuel, allowing for clearer thinking and steadier emotions. Another important benefit is improved memory and concentration. Studies in neurology show that diets high in sugar are linked with impaired hippocampal function, the part of the brain responsible for learning and memory. Seniors often notice that once sugar is removed, forgetfulness and mental fog are reduced. Doctors explain that stable blood sugar levels protect brain cells from damage, lowering the risk of cognitive decline over time. For older adults, this improvement in mental clarity supports independence and confidence in everyday decision-making. Sleep also plays a role in emotional health. Sugar disrupts sleep by interfering with melatonin and increasing nighttime restlessness. With sugar removed, sleep becomes deeper and more restorative, which directly improves mood and resilience against stress. Sleep specialists note that better rest enhances emotional regulation, making it easier to stay calm and positive during the day. Over the course of 30 days without sugar, many people describe a sense of emotional balance that had been missing. The constant cravings fade, anxiety lessens, and focus sharpens. For seniors, these mental and emotional benefits are not just pleasant, they are essential to maintaining quality of life. A steady mind, free from sugar's constant interference, supports not only better mood but also long-term brain health. 30 days without sugar sets the stage for long-term health improvements that extend far beyond the first month. Doctors emphasize that reducing or eliminating added sugar lowers the risk of several chronic conditions that become more common with age. These include type 2 diabetes, heart disease, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and certain cancers. By keeping blood sugar stable and reducing the inflammatory burden on the body, seniors give themselves a stronger foundation for healthy aging. The benefits do not disappear after the 30-day challenge, they accumulate with consistency, protecting health over the years. One of the most valuable long-term effects is cardiovascular protection. Consistently low sugar intake helps maintain healthy cholesterol and triglyceride levels, reduces blood pressure, and protects the arteries from damage. Cardiologists often explain that even small reductions in sugar lead to measurable improvements in circulation. Over time, this lowers the risk of heart attacks and strokes, two of the most significant threats to older adults. Another long-term gain is cognitive health. Research in Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience shows that diets high in sugar accelerate memory decline, while lower sugar consumption supports better brain function. Seniors who sustain a reduced sugar lifestyle may preserve mental sharpness longer, lowering their risk of dementia. This connection between diet and brain health has become a central focus of aging research, and sugar reduction is consistently highlighted as a protective step. Bone and muscle health also benefit over time. Excess sugar contributes to inflammation that interferes with calcium absorption and increases the risk of osteoporosis. By avoiding sugar, the body can make better use of nutrients that maintain bone density and strength. Muscles, too, function more efficiently with steady energy rather than glucose spikes and crashes, supporting mobility and independence. Perhaps the most meaningful long-term outcome is quality of life. Seniors who continue with a reduced sugar lifestyle often report more stable energy, fewer digestive complaints, and greater confidence in managing their health. Doctors describe this as aging with resilience, not just adding years to life, but adding life to those years. A single month without sugar demonstrates how powerful this change can be. Extending the habit beyond 30 days builds on those early improvements, reducing risks, strengthening the body, and supporting a more active, fulfilling life. For older adults, this commitment can be one of the most effective and lasting gifts given to the body and mind.